What's going on, everybody? It's the Just Like Bruddas podcast here with episode 21, correct?
Yep, our Tim Duncan episode, yes.
The Tim Duncan episode. I like to say the Kevin Garnett.
Okay, the KG episode. That's cool too, yeah, I say both.
Hey, we got Jay here with the bald head too.
Right.
But yes, he's Kai Jones, I'm Lyko BB, and yes, this is Jay Anderson from Big Shots,
Bucket Real,
everything. You know?
Yeah, just about anything.
A lot of affiliations.
It's like me, yeah.
Fill out Hoop Report as well. And, he's...
Prep
Hoops.
Sorry, my bad.
We'll talk about all
Yeah,
that. Anyway.
yeah.
Okay, you can't just mess that up off the bat. But anyway, yes, Jay Anderson is one of the best basketball minds out here, of course. Jay, thank you for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. It's going to be a good episode, I think.
We can also talk. We're going to talk about his podcast as well, the podcast Versatility, which I was on.
I do have my own.
That was a good episode. Yeah, I really got into some deep topics.
Bro, we talked for an hour and a half.
I didn't realize it. Yeah, and then he was like, "That was an hour and a half." I'm like, "Yeah, I love this. I love this."
I got into some deep stuff. It made me start thinking. I was cleaning the house. Like, dang.
But let's get to it. Let's see. So Jay, you're out here in ENC because you're going to see Wayne Country Day tonight. Yeah. So who are some other than with Wayne Country Day, of course, you can talk about that. But who are some of the Eastern North Carolina teams you're looking forward to seeing, and individual players if you want to name them?
Individual players.
If you would like to name them.
That's very specific. I mean, in terms of the ENC, I drew a blank because I had to. South Central, Green Central, Farmville, Kinston.
All the big names.
Yeah.
They have a lot of players that I want to see. So I mean, it's pretty much a toss up. You've got on Kinston, you got Dontre Styles, you've got Isaac Parsons, Chance Minot. Then you got some younger guys coming up that
Jamie Dixon, Dante Ellis.
Yeah. So I mean, there's plenty of talent on that squad, and then Green Central they got some younger guys too that are coming up. They probably have to reload. I don't think they'll be as strong as they usually are, but they'll still be a competitive group. But I still want to see what they got coming up.
Absolutely,
the pipeline.
Like Kentrell Suggs, Zach Taylor, and BJ Corbett. So that's a good start. It's a good group coming back.
Yeah.
So of course you're from Virginia, correct?
No, so here it is. It's deep. It's deep. So all right, I was born in Fort Hood, Texas.
Okay.
That's
South Texas, right?
Yeah. I don't know. See, this is one thing about me. When people be like East, West, North, I'll be like, hold on.
Let's go to
map real quick.
East. No, you gotta open up the fold out.
Yeah, that's exactly. I pull up one of those and just start looking at East, or I just. So yeah, I was born in Fort Hood, Killeen, Texas. It's probably, I know this part. It's probably about an hour and a half from Austin, Texas.
Okay, so that's central Texas.
Yeah, that's about close to
pretty much. Yeah. So I mean, I was born in Fort Hood, Texas. Then lived in Texas for about 12 years. Then I moved to Virginia, and then I lived in Virginia, right? And then I moved. And then I moved to New Jersey for 2 years, and then I moved back to Virginia. So I went to 3 high schools in 4 years.
Wow.
So,
hey,
I'm not really.
Relate.
Yeah, so I'm not really.
You're the worst, man. There are basketball players who can't relate, and
I'm not really. So this is gonna be a good episode. Yes. So I'm not really from anywhere, but I mean. Like when it comes to my family, most of my family is either here or DC. So
how were you born in Texas?
My dad was a military.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was gonna say I heard Fort Hood, and I was like,
yeah. So I was a military brat for.
Hey, he stayed there for 12 years.
20.
Oh.
Well, he stayed in Texas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He was, but I mean.
That's pretty crazy because normally most military families, they
move around,
every 2-3 years they go.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I went to 3 high schools in 4 years too. So I mean, moving around, being on that track, I was a little.
Well, but at the same time, you were a Virginia Tech alum, correct?
Yeah, I went to Virginia Tech because I went to the school my sister went to. So yeah,
that's right.
See, back in the day when I was really coming up watching basketball, I used to hate when we had to go Virginia Tech.
VT always, because he's a Carolina fan. VT would always every time they have been able to upset Carolina.
So that football game was tough for you.
Hey, I don't really watch too much college football.
Right. Yeah,
I love college basketball.
Right.
I watch the heck out of some college basketball.
That's what they all watch. College of football is college.
But you talk about your sister, Brittany. Didn't she play at VT and is on the coaching staff now?
Yeah.
On the women's?
So my sister, she went to Virginia Tech, played on the basketball team, and then she started coaching, and then she started at Radford, and now she's a coach at Virginia Tech on the women's basketball staff. So typically,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So typically, I tend to, if you ever catch me like really into women's basketball, I'm probably watching Virginia Tech play. So
they got a lot. They got a lot of players from the triad. So not on men's and women's.
But they got some girl, Lydia Rivers from Kinston too.
And yes, Lydia Rivers.
So they've got some, they got some North Carolina flavor on there. So
absolutely. Yeah, see, that was the thing about Virginia Tech too. They'd always come here in this area, recruit hard.
Football teams got triads too. I mean, Hendon Hooker and Trey Turner are from Greensboro, and they are balling.
Yep.
Yeah, that's his people. He loves his Greensboro.
Yeah. I do. I love my triad.
When it comes to Tech, get them from wherever. Like we've been harping on playing Hendon Hooker for like. What was that?
Yeah, you guys like week 3 because y'all hated Ryan Willis so much.
I don't think I hated him. I think just
the fan base in general was like, we don't want to see no more Ryan Willis. We want to see Hendon.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then Hendon got hurt. And then they have to go to that third stringer. I forgot his name. What was his name?
See, I'm throwing a blank too. Dang.
Oh, dang. But they had to go to the third
Patterson.
Patterson. Yes, correct. But you are wired into Virginia Tech Hokie athletics. You were also a manager as well. Correct?
Yeah, I was a manager on the basketball team there when I went to college. So
what's a manager's lifestyle like?
I would preface it with this: I didn't really have to do the average manager stuff just because of the relationships I had with the coaching staff and stuff. So I was more like, we need you this weekend to scout. So I would have to stay in on weekends, 7, 9 p.m. when those ACC games would be coming on. I'd be 1 and 2 one of them usually throughout the night. So I mean, we put together scouting reports, PowerPoints.
Oh, okay.
It's not, like I said, that's why I preface it with it wasn't your average manager, because I was more so always around the basketball team. So recruits would come in, I would direct them to who would be best, or hang out with the recruit, stuff like that. And it would get to, I guess it got to a point where by my senior year, which was the good part, was all my education get paid for, and I'm traveling automatically to all the events. So senior year was it was like hands on your hips on the hill type.
Like in that Fresh Prince of Bel-Air intro when Will gets
when he gets out the car and you see the Hollywood sign. Pretty much. That was so. It was definitely a great experience.
YouTube on Suez.
Oh yeah, sure.
Right. Don't say too much of the beat. Right.
Yeah. Good call. NBC might be on us. But you transitioned. Did you transition from VT to Big Shots, or how did you transition over here?
I just kind of fell out of the sky.
You got out of the car like Will, and
again, you're gonna have a lot of those. You're gonna have a lot of moments. If you have a lot of these moments in your life, keep going. You're gonna have more. Just look for those. All right. Life goals. So I graduated from Tech. I worked in, I think, cable. I like customer service for a bit. And I did that for 6 years working for a cable company. So that ran out. Then I started working at a gym overnight, and then I started doing basketball training on the side. So that was all in the DMV area. So I think that's about 6 years. And then this past around 18 months, I just decided to move down here, just because life up there. It's a little different, a lot faster, a lot
You're tired of sitting in traffic at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah,
It's
DMV, he refers
correct.
to it as DC, Maryland,
Correct.
Northern Virginia traffic, which is the worst.
Yes, pretty much.
So,
Very much the worst. I went
like
to DC like last year, and I was like, gosh, I will be so
Yeah,
happy.
I will only go when I have to drive at
experiencing
night.
that Wednesday.
Night.
Wednesday, I will be experiencing
Right.
that.
He's actually born in DC.
Really?
So,
Born in
Okay.
DC, raised in Greensboro,
Really?
moved here.
Going to DC.
Yeah.
This is not a bio about me. This is a bio about Jay.
Yeah. We just
side note.
That is
Side
true.
note.
Yes. I do have, most of my family that lives here in the States lives in the DMV.
But so how do you transition over from 1 month, one time a basketball manager for a major college basketball program.
Right.
Yes, I'm working in cable, doing some overnight gym stuff. Then I'm also, training kids. So now you move down here and you get into media. When did that kind of transition kind of take place? Like what was the kind of the click moment you think?
Oh, I mean, it was more so when I think it was my first year I started doing cable. I also started writing on the blog. That's kind of how I met Stryker. He was, what's it called? What's the title called?
SB Nation.
Yeah, okay, SB Nation. You were,
I was working on the Charlotte Hornets blog, which I no longer do now.
Right, that's how we met. So
yes.
That's kind of how I know him.
Yeah.
So I was writing on Fansided.
Yes,
so,
that's right. And I used to write Fansided too.
So I was writing on Fansided for probably about 4 or 5 years,
Right.
and then it's like I could do more with the analyzing, because watching basketball is a lot of analysis.
Yeah.
I'm not really a stickler for like the analytics
Yeah.
of it all as much as what happened, because if you're there, you know what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a lot more useful than throwing up numbers. So I wanted to do more in terms of scouting, because I see a lot of scouts out here, and I'm like, I can do that. Instead of going the other way with it, where you're like, why is he scouting? I'm like, all right, I can do this.
Right.
And seeing that,
Well,
that's where
get in the game.
yeah, pretty much. So that's kind of where when I was working cable, that's what kind of transitioned me into working at a gym overnight, because I also could supplement it with, I started working with the company in the DMV called DMV Elite. With Marcus Helton up there.
Yes.
So
It's a great name up there too.
I really got involved up there with doing highlights. I didn't do as much writing, and it's funny too, because I was just talking to Marcus the other day, and he was like he had listened to my podcast, and he was like, dude, you never told me you wanted to do more writing. I was like, I know, that's why I didn't really blame anybody. Like, I understood it was my fault, you know what I'm saying? But like, we still have a great relationship, so that's kind of where I started seeing, up there, it's a little different. Like and what worked for me and Marcus is we're a lot more hands off. We don't really need to, our name out there. We don't need pictures, and we're just gonna go watch the game, do our stuff, and go home. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what helped me learn, just the ins and outs of the game, make connections. Like, I still have a great connection with some coaches up there, players up there, AU organizations up there, and that's kind of what transitioned me to do scouting, because, AU. Like,
That's some great organization.
I wasn't really involved in AAU up there. AAU, like, in terms of recruiting, so that's kind of what opened the door to scouting, in terms of getting in the game, but knowing, what piece you bring to the table. Like, so, you've got AAU, you've got high school, you've got, I even consider open gyms different than the regular season, just because you're going to see more looks, more players. You're going to see 5 subs in, 5 subs out. So I consider scrimmages a different thing to present to people.
Right.
So that's kind of where I just and literally my aha moment, I had all those thoughts. Like, all right, you're gonna do what? What are you gonna do? All right, how you gonna do it? What's your approach? How you like? That's how I think. That's why I tweet a lot, because I just get out of it. Like, just get out of here. Like,
who you telling? I'm the one who tweets like 24/7, 365.
You know what I'm saying? So this is just like.
Yeah, you always got stuff falling out your brain.
That, you know what I'm saying? So in that moment,
that's one of the great things that I was just thinking about this day about being a content creator. There's always things going on.
Yeah.
It's like it's the gift and the curse.
Right,
it's like there's always something to do.
Right.
But the problem is there's always something to do.
Exactly. Yeah. So your sleep comes at a premium, stuff like that. So I mean,
Correct.
I was just ready to sacrifice a lot at that moment where it was like, aha, it's like, all right, just jump. Like, just you gotta take that risk. So that's kind of how I ended up. And it's funny too, because Anthony Bruton, who I talk to now more than ever,
friend of the show without being on the show.
Right. The busiest man on earth.
Yeah.
He had actually like just randomly DM'd me one day because I was, like I said, I tweeted a lot. I was tweeting about trying to get in contact with somebody just to scout. So, he kind of...
Tony is one of the greatest people at just embracing new people and helping them find their way.
Right. And he, basically, and he basically laid out, this is how you can find your way. And basically, I did everything he told me to do.
Yeah.
And, I fell into big shots. I fell into prep hoops. A lot of just great stuff just started happening. So, I mean, that's why I just kind of took that aha moment because, you have that.
Right.
I say this, when you have a purpose and you want to grow with it, like this podcast, like We Journal Great Sports, I appreciate stuff like that because I was that kid, growing up. I'm writing stories, I love the Animorphs, like weird books, just Harry Potter, read all those books. Like I was that kid, so I like the creative part of what media brings.
Right.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. Sometimes when it comes to media, it's all about just finding the right person to put you on the right path.
Yeah, and that's
because it can be
thanks
very
to Seth
dark.
Greenberg. Yep, shout out to Seth Greenberg. That was the head coach.
The great
coach
Seth
that was at
Greenberg.
Virginia Tech when I was
Seth
there.
Greenberg.
He's on ESPN now, so I mean, shout out to him. Just kind of throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But another thing let's talk about too. What is you've seen both. What is the difference between DMV hoops, NC hoops?
DMV.
Even media. What is the difference in it?
I mean, DMV is a lot more concentrated. So even though there's a lot of events, they're all going to be in that same area. So you just kind of pick one. NC is like.
You gotta go here. Yeah, that's true. But
it's so spread out.
It is true.
It's still a high concentration of talent.
Right.
It's just in a different setup.
Right.
Yeah,
so,
you can go.
That's where I would kind of say it's different.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Do you feel like there's any difference in the style of play?
There is a shot clock.
It depends.
There is.
Like he said, there's a shot clock in
Maryland. There's a shot clock.
So Maryland has a shot clock.
I think DC does too, correct?
DC, I know the private schools do.
Yes.
So DC's a private school.
DCI.
So that's kind of where, and the private schools have their own leagues up there.
Yes.
There isn't, a prep school and a 1A public pro. There isn't that. So that's kind of where it's a little different in what you're going to see in styles. Because I mean, the math of high school, it's been around.
Great
so everybody knows the math. So I mean, just knowing that they kind of have I wouldn't say have an easier job at recruiting, but they have a bigger pool of talent to choose from.
Right.
I remember those DeMatha days, man. I know this might get me sidetracked. I'm just gonna say it, but those DeMatha days when they had Oladipo and Quinn Cook and Michael Hopkins, I can just go on and on with great DeMatha stories.
Right.
Really, that conference, the WCAC, is arguably the best conference for high school basketball anywhere on the East Coast, in my opinion. Of course, you gotta talk about their rival Gonzaga and Bishop O'Connell the great Kendall Marshall went to Bishop O'Connell and the Ireton and all these other schools. I mean, Paul VI, of course, PBI. It's just love the WCAC. And I remember going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's basically saying what I'm saying, and I'm just going to co-sign. All right.
Yeah. The fun fact I had is that my cousin Matthew Seifu played at Sidwell Friends School, DC, where the Obama kids went to high school, and where the Clintons, I believe, kids went to high school.
Sidwell Friends. Right.
He was on the same basketball team as one Josh Kerr. So that was, and they had some great teams. Him and Jamal Lewis and Matt Hillman and Josh Carter. Those were some great teams.
Sadiq Bey, is that Villanova?
Yeah,
Right there.
that's right. Yep. And that's just DC and DMV sports is just so fun.
Yeah. So I mean, with the WCAC, I will say North Carolina doesn't have like a WCAC like that.
I don't believe so either.
I mean, it could get one, but I mean, it just doesn't have one. Right
if there
now.
is one, it's probably if there is one, it's probably like the IMEC or the Tri-8 or the Cap 7.
You're talking about where there's always consistently good talent in one conference.
I'm talking one like
as a whole, like the entire conference.
Yeah, I mean, but I think
Bishop
some of
Hudson's like.
I think some of the difference.
But they're getting better, yes, they are.
Yeah.
I think some of the difference too is, it seems like from what you guys are saying, like it seems like those associations kind of look out more for look out for that type of conference versus here in North Carolina. There's so much of NCHSAA controls so much of what high school hoops is. High school hoops and high school, really any sport, really is. They have so much control over it because you don't get to pick your own conference.
Right.
So it's like you could say, hey, you know what, we're going to form a conference with six or seven teams, and it's going
to be like proximity is going to be there.
Proximity is going to be there. The competition is always going to be there.
The gate's going to be nice.
Yeah, the gate is going to be nice. It's more regulated and more controlled versus it seems like the schools have a little bit more control there. Am I right to say
that? Yeah. Like the schools have a lot more control up there, in terms of, Mike Jones has a name up there.
Oh, yes. He's a great guy.
I'm drawing a blank on Gonzaga's Steve Miller.
No. I mean, because in the NCISA, one of the problems for the NCISA, I think, too, is that the greatest high schools.
Turner, that's right. Yes, right. It was Steve.
First name was Steve. All right.
Yeah, it was.
Steve Turner,
the great Steve.
I draw blanks because
Chris Jenkins went to school there.
Right.
Yeah. But there's a lot. I guess their coaches have a lot more involvement too. Like Mike Jones and Steve Turner. They were at the NBA. They were coaches at the NBPA Top 100 camp. So I mean, that's something. Right. Boom.
And then I think too a problem that North Carolina has, of course, the NCISAA, even though they're independent, you can kind of pick your own league and you can kind of form these leagues, is that some of the times the teams are not in close proximity to each other. So some of the best programs, and then also you have a problem with some teams are now in the CAS versus being in the NCISAA because they don't meet certain standards of the NCISAA.
Like teams have had to change.
Word of God, Mount Zion.
Remember that whole thing with Florida McDonald Academy as well, that whole situation there in 2010 too. So that's another one. I agree with that. I mean, there's just kind of like they're kind of teams that have had to transition away and be like NCCSA or anything else. It's just a whole bunch of letters. That's it. Whole bunch of A's and C's, S's, and
what I'm learning. That's what I'm learning.
It's like I just don't know, man. You shouldn't have like 4 different leagues and stuff like that just because you can't fit certain things in certain places.
The Quality Education Academy too is another one too.
Yeah.
But I think so. With Big Shots, how have you kind of navigated getting kids the right exposure? Would you say how do you think that Big Shots has helped create exposure for kids in the Southeast? And everywhere.
I started with Big Shots I think in April. It was originally this is the funny part too. So I was originally supposed to be recording for Baller TV, but Baller TV they just didn't pay me one weekend for a day, so it was just like, all right. I need to find something else to do. So all of a sudden, somebody was just like, "Hey, not somebody, Jeremy Ellis." We were talking one day, and he was just like, "Hit Kevin up, if you want a job." Yeah, Kevin Snyder. So I just called him one day. We talked, and you know, hit it off, and you know, he just gave me an opportunity in terms of, you know, I manage social media. Now I do some writing on the website too.
You do a great job of that.
Appreciate you. And then, you know, I manage a showcase, you know, do registration, you know, little admin stuff.
Make sure kids don't get in a fight.
Right. Yeah, I've had to break. I broke.
I remember there was one in Rocky Mountain that got kind of crazy too. I think.
Oh yeah, with the coaches, yeah. And the ref was ready to. So funny story.
Hey, at least that's high school kids.
Yeah, it is. No, it wasn't even that. It was the coach that got mad. Yeah. So funny story, right? So
here we go. Backstory.
It's the end of the game. Other teams get blown out, game's over, and of course there's this coach, you know, just barking at the ref, it's a foul, this, that, you're down 30. It's just like, bro, like, everybody just like chill. So everybody getting mad, then the girl on the book gets mad, and I'm just like, oh, damn it. So I'm standing there, like, this is the thing about when I have to break stuff up that's funny. Something always tells me, walk over here. So I walk over here, I'm just standing there, and just stuff just starts happening. So the girl in the book was getting mad, arguing with the ref too. So I'm like, oh damn, all right, this is gonna get bad. It didn't get bad, but like the coach started talking crazy, and then the ref was like, all right, I'm done. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like, he walked past me. I'm like, all right, go ahead, play it. Like, ow, like it's cool. Like, good. I understood. So then they got mad because the ref didn't want to ref no more. So I'm like,
bro, you're 30.
I'm like, you damn, we gonna run the clock. Like, I mean, the game's over. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, it's for the kids.
Everybody call it home foul.
Yeah, you know, but even then, I'm just like, you know, it's about the kids. You know, you mad about who's trying to protect my kids. Coach, just because the kids fall. Like, listen, I'm also throwing in this anecdote. Stop falling all the time. Like, kids, I don't know what it is. Y'all see it on TV, think it looks cool. Stop falling. You're going to break your elbow. Stop falling all the time. All right, just go. So, the kids were just, you know how kids go off for layup, get shot blocked. Boom. Just because it's a loud noise. Get up. Like, you're going to hurt yourself. Like, I don't know where kids just want to keep falling. Just take the contact. Worst case scenario, you get shot blocked. Still got shot blocked when you fail. So like
it's the same result.
All of a sudden, like, and no, that's just one of the situations I've been involved in. So I mean,
that's nothing. Compared to
that's
big things I've heard about.
That's one of the.
I don't know what's worse: the guy who is mad when his team is down 30 that like fouls aren't being called, or the guy who's mad when his team is up 30 and fouls aren't being called.
Oh, yes. Right. I agree because I know a coach exactly like the other one you said. So I'm like, I've seen that before, and even
you're like, coach, shut up.
Even trying to, you know, play that part.
It's a running clock.
Right, running the clock. We're just trying to make it through. Worst case scenario, just put your subs in. Come on, like, do something.
Get everybody some playing time.
Please, something.
They could be mad at
pass the time.
They cut to the lead.
But yeah, I've seen that too. So I mean, it's just, you know, exposed me to being able to be in those positions. I mean, not to be proud to be in those positions, but I mean, I can.
As many of you are always in some
wild situations.
Yeah,
right. You know what I mean?
You got
understanding.
You got people. You got to break up fights and games.
Right.
You got to be the one that has to actually report on the fight too.
Right.
Because like, oh, the police got like I saw the other day, police got called for a riot.
Right.
So like they're mad because the reporter was like didn't put everything in one tweet. It's like there's 280. There's like 280.
I'm not supposed to do a thread.
And that's what you see. Then you look up under, like there's a whole thread on exactly everything that was said and that was happening.
Right.
People do not read the people.
Right. Read.
Yeah.
They don't want to read.
Yeah. People ask you for, can you get this kid to transfer for them? You know, can you be, you know,
can you facilitate my son's transfer to school, insert school here? No.
Yeah.
We can't do that.
I can, but I won't.
Right.
That's not my job. You're the parent, figure it out.
Right.
Make the decision based on what you feel is correct.
Yeah.
They need somebody to blame.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is not what I'm saying. So what is it with? So I feel like some of these places got beef for some reason. Like I feel
what
like
places?
Huh?
What places?
I mean,
oh, beef! Look at me. Beef. Where?
I feel like some of these, like all these people that believed to be like basketball experts in high school basketball, like have like things to say about people they don't like and all this stuff.
I mean,
what is it like?
I don't have no beef. I don't have no beef with nobody. I know that much. But I do know there are just some people that feel like people have said things. It's like people have said things that were disrespectful or something. But I mean, like I said, I got nothing to do with it. So it's just like, I know in other places, like, so when I was at NBA PA Top 100 camp, it's like everybody, like nobody wanted to talk to each other. unless you like, luckily I knew like 3 people. So it's like,
you talk to the people
I talked to the people I knew,
okay.
but it's just like, outside of the people you know, nobody's gonna be like, hey, how you doing? Like, it's just like...
Yeah, there are some big, weird media people who just don't want to be...
So I guess some people like want to be like that, I guess? I don't...
There's people who don't want to talk, and there's me who wants to say hello to everybody.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I'm a friendly person, so I mean...
Well, sometimes I'll be quiet.
I get along with mostly everybody, so I just...
Yeah.
I just get along where I can get along.
Now, of course, the person you probably get along with most is Clark.
Clark, yeah.
Another friend of the show without being on the show.
Our senior contributor.
How did that relationship come about? You know, were you?
I ran into him at the Wakefield game.
Okay.
So yeah, just happened to see him at the Wakefield game. I was like, yo, you the dude Clark? Yeah, because I recognized him at the Wake. Huh?
The Wakefield, like a playoff game? Or
yes, yeah, Wakefield South Central.
Oh, okay,
yeah, Wakefield South Central.
Okay.
And I had recognized him there, and he had a prep hoop shirt on, so I was just like, yo, you know, do y'all need any help? You know, I'm looking to start writing, so you know, got on with them. I think that was in April too. So yeah.
I was gonna say side note is I first met Jay in person at the 252 Classic at Fike.
Yeah, that's when we met him too.
And you met, I was gonna say, that's where we...
Yeah, we were looking at, what game was that? Was that UNC Duke Part 3, I want to say?
I think...
I remember...
Yeah, there were updates, and Bob was updating the game.
Yeah.
Everyone was wondering, like, if Duke was gonna lose or something. I think I might have...
No, it was Duke. I'm not sure if it was Duke Carolina Part 2 or Part 3.
It was a Duke game.
It was Part 3 because it was in March.
Right.
No, it was a Duke NCAA tournament game. That's what I remember. Against
that's
UCF.
Right, yeah, UCF, yeah.
It was a Duke
UCF.
And people thought UCF was going
that's right.
UCF almost beat them. So, but
everybody's like, whoa, what's going on? Then Taco found out.
And then when they put the final score, all the Duke fans were like, yeah, and everybody else was like, oh. The Fab 40 event is a event held in Fayetteville. Was it like it's like 2 times a year or something?
Yeah, one in the fall and then one in the spring.
But the Fab 40, that's him, Clark, Brute, and Jay. They did such a good job with it, and I feel some kids have been discovered out of there. I mean, DeMarco Dunn from Westover just got a VCU offer, but. Tell me a little bit about Fab 40 and like how that all came to be, if you can tell.
I mean, I don't really know.
I'll say, what was it like this year?
Yeah, what was it like this year?
This year helping.
That's a better way of saying it.
This year helping, it was a lot.
Yeah, my back.
I guess it was a lot better. I mean, you know, just because I got to have a section of kids I can invite, like. I've actually never done that before, so I just, kind of reached out to some kids, saying, yo, come out to the Fab 40.
Right.
Some kids came, some kids didn't. So
we had a surprise. We had a surprise edition show. Don Trez showed up.
Then they got Don Trez at the end. So I mean,
it was very nice.
I mean, at the last minute. So I mean, that kind of helped, moving along. But I mean, it just teaches you, I guess, about event management. Just how to keep it on track,
right?
Yeah.
And make sure
people
that say they're coming are going to come versus inviting people and then they say they're going to come, then the day of they don't show up. Stuff like that.
That's definitely the worst.
So it's kind of like learning how to manage all that.
I was happy to take pictures, even though my pictures.
I'm excited to come out next time y'all doing it.
Yeah, I think we're doing it. I think March.
Yeah.
Okay. I definitely got to set a date for that.
I'll definitely be
I also I was able to get a lot of pictures. The picture man was on the scene,
Yeah.
but
The picture man.
The picture man.
No, you can tell. What's the saying?
Yeah, this is his. I think you should change this to your Instagram bio. They always asking for photos from Micah Abibi, but never ask how he's Abibi.
Right.
How he BB.
Right.
But I was able to get a lot of pictures, but they weren't better than my man BJR, man. I tell you,
BJ,
yeah,
he does good. He does good work.
But
Yeah,
I was able to get pictures to every participant at that camp. Got
Right.
at least some pictures of them playing. Which
good.
the number one thing for me is that I want to make sure these kids have memories of them playing basketball. I mean,
so they can show their friends, hey man, back in the day I was the truth.
Right.
Yeah, that's yeah.
And I sprained my ankle and I couldn't do nothing.
But
hey man, I got friends who still show me, hey, I got interest letters from Clemson.
and you can show the pictures of the letters.
Yeah.
But
No.
or just actually, you just say it.
Right.
I have a friend who was like, yeah, look at my scrapbook here.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I,
This is my
right
offer
here,
from Clemson.
right here at this camp here, I outplayed Rod Strickland. I beat him 7-6 1-on-1.
7-6. Look, nobody was there. Nobody remembers.
Nobody was
There
there.
ain't no recording of it, but
There was no video. But nowadays that is the one good thing. Now guys can actually,
Prove it.
you can actually prove
right.
it.
You got the receipts, right?
Yeah, now you got receipts.
Yep.
Because
picture man on the scene.
there's so many guys who I ran into that I used to play with that are like, man, if we would have had something like what you do or what they do now, man, we would have, it would have been great. We would have been a lot more of our guys who went to college and stuff like that.
Exposure, yeah.
Because one of the things I noticed, and I remember now, is that when you're in high school and when even a little shortly after you get to college, you don't realize how good the rest of the world is at basketball.
Right. Yeah. That's what college.
You always be like I remember one time, a moment that kind of clicked. When I was watching an actual D2 player, I was watching him. He's hooping. He's going off. He had 38 or something like that.
Right.
And I'm like, that's a D2 basketball player.
That's a D2 basketball player.
That's a D2 basketball player.
He's going 38.
38. And it's like, well, what the heck does a D1?
That's exactly
Right.
But kids, you can make it at any level.
Any level is great.
Right.
There are players that played in the NBA last year that played Division III, Division II.
Yeah,
Dennis Rodman.
I mean, Dennis Rodman's
hey, I wouldn't mind being a walk-on somewhere.
I mean,
Right.
Let me
if there's anything, the next best thing is manager.
Yeah.
It's actually super fun.
Yeah.
And
sometimes you get yelled at.
basketball leagues too, so you can still.
Yeah, they got a manager's basketball league now. They didn't have that. They had that, trust and believe, but they didn't have it. They didn't have it when I was there.
I would have been the leading scorer of the manager basketball league.
That's right.
I see this man shoots like a left-handed Austin Rivers,
the
bro.
logo.
He gonna be catching left-handed Austin Rivers, bro.
Right, because you played in high school, right?
Yeah, I played in high school. I played all 4 years in high school. Yeah, so I mean, by the time college, it was time for me to go to college, I was just ready to go to college. Just 'cause it's like, all right, this is something else.
Yeah, definitely. So what has probably been your favorite moment as a basketball journalist in the last few years? What's the moment that sticks out the most to you? Or you can give us a few,
That's tough. As a basketball journalist.
I know Trey, he said his was catching C.K. Everett's windmill dunk.
In the
yeah.
windmill dunk post.
Right.
Yeah.
I think
You guys need to see that because that's one of the craziest
Yeah.
dunks in game I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, it was. I was supposed to go, but I didn't end up going.
See, I was actually.
Of course, right? Of course. That's how it always goes.
That's exactly
I was
how it
supposed
goes.
to go D1, but I forgot to
Right.
put in my admissions form.
I had a grade, so I couldn't go D1, so I had to go JUCO.
So I went to JUCO and averaged 2 points a game because I couldn't really get on the floor like that.
Well, there's excuses.
That's the fun.
That's exactly. But that's accurate though. That's the thing. That's exactly how they be saying,
And when it's like them, when they tell those excuses, they were lying. Back in the day, you used to be like, okay, I believe you. Now it's like, now being in it, you're like, okay.
You be like, all right, let's add that to the list. Okay.
The funniest thing is when you run into somebody who was actually close to that situation, And they're like, that's not what happened at all.
At all, right? right. Dog. And I'll just be like, man, whatever.
Like, yeah, he averaged 2 points a game, but he only played 1 game.
Right.
The rest of the games he was on the bench. And it wasn't because coach didn't like him, it was because he didn't show up.
But,
to any practice.
To not get sidetracked, do you have anything that you can think of any moment?
I actually lost it going down that hole. Like, we went down that hole. I was having flashbacks like, oh my goodness, tell me about it. Like, man, I was over here playing the violin. Dang, I actually had one too, and I lost it. See, what was it? I remember it was the Virginia State playoffs. The final game, one of the finals, I got to record Mac McClung, and I actually got to do an interview. I got to do an interview. We had
Mac's out here balling in Georgetown, man.
Yeah. So that I guess that was like a fun moment. And then I did one summer. I did a little intern with the Kennedy League, so I got to see like Jerome Williams mentor some of those younger guys coming up. So that was. I guess those are
good. That's the Mac McClung was really good.
Yeah. Like that was pretty crazy.
Yours
that Mac, like, all right, I'll say this about that Mac McClung game. So I think they played at 4, and like I was there all day. I forget when the first game started, but like let's say from like 12 to up until their game, the gym just kept filling up. But like Gate City fans.
Oh my god.
It was like majority Gate City fans. Like it was almost like a home game for them. I don't know if they brought their whole town or what, but like, yeah.
Hey, when every team wins, they travel. I'll tell you that.
Everywhere I looked, like it was like his Gate City fans, and dog, that game. I think he had like 30 something that game. He snapped, dog. The volume level in there was like a college atmosphere. It was pretty crazy in there. So
that's a good one.
So I have a question for you.
Yep.
This is one that we haven't played.
All right. I'm nervous.
What do you think separates elite basketball players, like the elite prospects, those ones who are going, ACC,
all the high level conferences you can name.
All the high level conferences you can name. What do you think separates them from other guys, just in general? What do you think is the number one trait that kind of separates them?
Number one trait. That's a little better. That's a little better. At first I was nervous, but number one trait is a little easier. Number one trait I would say is motor. There are a lot of kids you can teach a motor to. There are a lot of kids that just have that.
It's time for me to be me.
Yeah, like I've seen like one player I'll say who's almost there on that path, because I don't like to call players elite, because then people you're not going. So one player I'll say is Bobby Pettiford. And one thing about him is I've seen him play a lot, but one thing I've never seen him play at 100%. And that's kind of where I can separate potential versus present, where are they at currently versus potential. Because a lot of times now what we do with these kids is we project them to be great. Then, in 8th grade he told me I was great, and then they get 12th grade, and they like, y'all told me I was great, man, but they haven't developed. But you've got guys out there that have that motor, that understand. There's always, they just do they just do things that an average basketball player can't do. Their shots, athleticism, stuff like that.
And Bobby Pettiford plays for South Granville High as Team CP3.
Yeah, he's actually around the court.
South Granville, Creedmoor, North Carolina.
Yeah, so that's I live in Creedmoor, so that's literally like 3 minutes around the corner. So that's where I see a lot, and thankful to their coaches, they let me watch them practice because they know I'm not about to.
They have a lot of great guards on that squad. They picked up Kobe Jones, they have Kai Jones.
They actually just beat Wakefield in overtime.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
And the funny part about that is Bobby had 30, but 16 of his 30 came in the 4th quarter in overtime.
Wow. So he turned it on.
Yeah, so like I said, he turned on that motor, but Bobby is a player too that, in my opinion, I think he could average 40 if he did that the whole game. Just understanding he's a triple-double machine. He can do that.
And last year they were
That's
very,
my opinion.
Yeah, last year they were very young when they made a really good playoff run.
Right, I think they went the third round or
yeah, they
second
lost to
round.
Green Central.
Oh yeah, whew, don't talk
They
about
lost to that. They raided the Green Central. Yeah,
Those highlights were rough to watch.
yeah, it was for this band.
I remember Tony Bruton DM'd me about that game.
Oh, he was mad. He
was like, Granville. He's like, I don't even think Grand Central gonna get past Granville Central. I was like,
South Granville.
South Granville.
No, you can't mince those two up. They kind of.
They have a rivalry, man.
I'm very bad with
Rivalry bros.
Yeah, I'm very bad with.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But
South
Brute
Granville. I remember
mentioned-
he was like, it's like they're not gonna get past Grand Central. I'm like, I think that you may be underriding the.
Sniper did that to me the other day.
Durham.
I did. Yeah, I was like, hello.
He was like, I don't know, man. Like MJ, and they surprised me too. But all right, that's what you were saying. We'll go back to that.
Yeah, I was like, I think you're underwriting the Amaje effect here.
Right.
Like,
and
dude,
and the fact that it's just had size in general. I mean, Dante and Double H, Sean Hudson, and Jaquil Gation.
Yeah, I was a long team.
Yeah,
that team had a lot of athleticism, a lot of size.
He said, pause.
But I did get caught off guard. You mentioned the Durham Academy GDS game.
Yeah, GDS.
But at the same time, Durham Academy beat them in the summer. So and that was without MJ. So they came out. They outscored by 25 in the second half. Got to give Durham Academy probably number one in that 4A right now. Then GDS Cannon right now, I would say. It's one of those three is winning states.
Really?
I can still.
What are they? 4A? 3A?
Yeah, they're 4.
4. Okay.
And if it's not this year for Durham or Cannon, it's going to be within the next 3. I'd say
for either of those two.
Yeah, they're going to be fighting it out for the next 3 years, I think. But South Granville is a team that could spoil the party if Farmerville and Kinston are not careful. They are the 2 favorites. South Granville is probably right there.
First Flight's another one of those teams.
Yeah,
First Flight.
And we'll obviously in
I think First Flight is one of my favorite schools because of how Chad Williams is. Because that school should not get as much publicity as it does when you consider that they're 4 hours from everywhere.
Yeah. They're like literally this little corner in Dare County, just chilling.
Yeah, they're like 4 hours from everything, and yet like every basketball season, you can't escape some First Flight publicity.
They did start 0-2, but they played 2 great teams. Concord Christian's always good, and Page High School.
But when you go as a school,
that's my public school district. I would have gone to Page High School.
When you are 4 hours from everything, and you're willing to go travel wherever, you're willing to do whatever to get media out there.
Oh yeah.
You bring out the best events. You go play the best competition. That's how you can get more media coverage. I always have teams say, how can I get you more games?
Right.
I'm like, well, okay.
They host a great event, Good Guys vs. Cancer.
So I'm like, okay.
They go and play anybody they want to play.
No, here's the 5 things.
Right. That's not an easy conversation, right?
Kai Jones list.
Right.
Offering money.
Right.
Food.
Right.
Boom. Free gear.
Right.
Preaching.
Actually being good.
Speak on it.
Actually playing competition.
Right.
Boom. Facts.
That's
That's like 5. So when y'all run this, just do the ding thing and like put 1, 2, 3.
We have to. I'm trying to get him to do that for something.
Like, do that.
We're gonna like post like memes and stuff.
I like that 5, so they can take notes with this podcast. Yeah. Get your notebook. Write that down.
Because honestly, I know. That's just me saying it, but that's how every single journalist is like.
Yeah, I
feel. You want me to come?
I co-sign all 5 of those. I co-sign all 5 of those, and I do appreciate the people that do understand those 5 and have.
You have the Jay Anderson 5.
I don't have a 5 because mine I got about 20. So
the Jay Anderson scroll.
Right. I think after that there's some subsections. Also.
Yeah, you
like, hey, don't be mad at me because you lost in the post game.
Right.
Well, let's see what else. Don't have it be a complete, clown fest.
Right.
Like you are at the refs about to choke the ref out for no reason.
Please don't be that dude.
Yeah.
I'm not coming to see. I'm not coming to bail
And
you
what
out
I love
either.
is that what I love about First Light is that I know they did struggle this weekend, but they played two really good teams in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I'm sure in your opinion. But what I love about First Light is with what they have, they produce. And they do what they do best.
Yeah.
They stick to what they know.
Shoot those
which
threes.
is shoot the hell out the basketball.
Shoot those
They
threes.
are the Outer Banks Houston Rockets, bro. That's
Right.
it. That's what they do. And they
I mean-
win. They had their school record for wins last year. You know who they ran into?
Great Central.
Yeah, they ran into that Great Green Central squad, but
Yeah.
Different beast.
they were up double digits too at the start. So,
Yeah.
but they just went cold.
Like I said, Amaje. Like I said,
Imagine he really
here's
played
my
that good
top
role.
trade.
in
Here's
that
my
game.
top
Isn't he
trade.
starting right now at UNCW?
He's Shaquem Phillips from South Central.
Shaquem
Could be
is?
soon. He
Yeah.
should be.
Shaquem did last game, I know.
Shaquem is starting.
Yeah.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah.
That's what I like to see.
Shaquem did start.
But my top trait for an elite prospect
Okay.
is how dedication to the process.
Right.
Like there are players like Majay is one of those players where every time I saw him, he got a little bit better. Every single time.
Right.
You know,
Or
if he-
bigger. Like,
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
kid is
Big. Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
hey,
Majay.
man! You change your whole
Dayron, every time I've seen like
Yeah.
I saw Dayron like all of last year. Like I saw him like in summer, then I saw him like in December,
Yeah.
then I saw him again in March,
Right.
then I saw him again in June. I'm like
Right.
every single time, I'm like, wow, he's adding something new again.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
He's
Yeah.
gotten
That's
better.
what,
here.
yeah,
He's got
he
good
was
You
one
know,
of those
he's
players.
he's one of those guys. Don Trez has been one of those guys.
Yeah.
It's like every time I see you, you add something new.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I see
You
if I
keep
miss
me wanting
you-
to come back. You know?
Right.
Yeah, there's always something you're adding to the game and dedication to the process as well, because all of those guys I just mentioned have great grades as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
They have the great grades.
Right.
You know, like I was talking to Dale, I did an interview with him for a feature I did for All About Athletes, and he's like, "Oh yeah, man, in summer, you know, I'm waking up at 5 a.m. because I ain't got school, so I can wake up at 5 a.m. I go hit the weights, get up about 100, 200 jump shots,
Because he's
work on
not-
my post moves."
Yeah, he's
I'm just like,
high
you are a
work.
professional basketball player as a high schooler already.
Right. Just understanding,
Right.
understanding what it takes. Versus,
Right.
If he can,
And
if
then
he
it's like,
projects
you
like
look at-
this, he might be one and done too. So.
Yeah, I'm about to say. Then you
Yeah.
look at his grades too, and
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah, I saw it. Take
yeah. I was like, I think it said his mom. I think his mom was like, he has a 3.8 GPA. I'm
Right.
like,
Yeah.
What more do you want?
yeah, like what more do you want? When you have kids like that, those are the kids who are. I've always feel like, okay, you can either go to a D1 program and start, or a D1 program and then leave after. Because I feel like they're
Yours-
one and done.
Yeah.
Right.
So yours is motor, yours is dedication to the process, and you kind of said what mine is. So mine is the character of the kid.
Yeah.
I think.
Understanding.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think like if you are just as good off the court as you are on the court in terms
Right.
of like being
Right.
a good kid, a very good example, a role model
Right.
for the youth and all that stuff. I think that is what stands out to me.
Right.
most. But those two are good.
Yeah.
I like that we all came up with three different ones, pretty much.
Yeah, which
those are all three together.
There's no
Like,
one thing.
oh,
There's no one-
That's a perfect recruit. All right, go
Yeah.
ahead.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there's no one thing that can
We
really
just
say
came up
like
with a
this
perfect
guy.
recruit
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, there's no one thing that can say that this guy is this, but those are all points that
Yeah.
these guys all tend to have in common.
Right.
Yeah, the
Pretty
character
much.
for me is also like saying yes sir, yes ma'am, even though I mean I
Yeah,
tell
like,
kids.
I was like 24.
I tell
don't
kids you
pay
don't have to
attention
call
to
me
it.
sir,
I'm
but
like,
the
yo,
fact
yo.
that they do is
Yeah.
very respectful, and I really appreciate that. It makes me feel like I'm older.
Makes you feel like you're important, huh?
It makes me feel like I'm doing a job.
Okay, Boomer.
Okay, oh no,
Okay, boomer.
come on. I hate OK Boomer.
I just had to say that to somebody yesterday on Twitter.
I saw
Oh,
that.
my God. Got blocked for it, man. Hey, man. He started it though, so I think-
Okay, is there anybody's basketball game you want to talk smack about? Like, you can talk smack.
What you
can
mean?
talk a brood if you want. No, I'm joking.
About basketball? No.
No,
I mean,
I'm
yeah.
kidding.
I
We love
I'm about to say one-on-one. You, Tony,
Or
Clark.
just-
Who wins?
That's a tough one. I'm gonna say this. I'm out of shape right now, so they might beat me. But
I've seen them both.
Both, all three of
They're
y'all in your
legit.
prime. Who's the best?
I say me.
Okay. Okay.
Because can't none of them outjump me. So
We're gonna get.
I'm going downhill every time.
Hey, when Bruden and Charles come on the show, they're gonna get their chance. So we promise. We'll give you the chance.
You already know they're gonna say they're gonna win.
I know, but I'm saying we gonna let them talk too. I mean,
Is Clark, who's the best shooter now?
I think Clark is the best shooter.
Oh,
Okay.
Clark.
Bruce's not gonna have that.
I haven't seen Bruden play, so that's his fault.
Okay.
That's his fault.
You
You better send me some film. So send me some film since you hear this.
You know he will. He will.
Right, he gonna be
He
mad
will
as
do
hell.
so.
I don't care. Send me some film of you,
I'm
bro.
about to say,
Oh, no,
I need to
Bruce
look
will
at
definitely
it.
do
I'm about to say, Brooke was the king of film.
Right, he'll send me some film in a heartbeat.
Bruce's gonna
Yeah, he'll like-
he's gonna have that ready.
Brooke is funny too because he'll be like, hey yo, I know you don't really cover this area, but go check out this kid here at this random middle school, and just know in 2 years I told you to go there first. He was like, bro, I didn't got time to just go and pull out middle school.
I was gonna say, Bruce
2 hours away.
Hey, Bruce like started with that freshman article he did with all this year's
Oh,
seniors.
he got a lot of heat for that.
No, he flexed hard on that.
Oh yeah.
The way he talked about Rashad and Daron and
Oh, yeah,
his
yeah,
freshmen,
yeah.
and he was right on it.
Yeah, but I mean, you're gonna get a lot of heat whenever you get these projections and stuff out. Like he even broke it down to me like when I had like a parent email, DM me something crazy. He was just like, it just means people respect your opinion, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they be mad when you let them down. But I'm sorry.
It just is what it is. Because you actually do like a projection test, don't you?
You do.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I do things based on who, like I was telling, like I had literally had a coach hit me up and was like, you know, you saw this kid once, but wouldn't you do your rankings based off who you seen most recently? And I'm like, I did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like when it comes to North Carolina,
I think
I can
coaches get a little
get
bit of tunnel vision as well.
yeah, you know what I'm saying
guys.
with their guy. And granted, even as I tell them, I'm like, it's 2022. Like it's not like
It's not now.
Just a minute.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You still got 2 more years. Like we
Yeah.
got probably 24 more of these to go. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? We're really,
Right.
And there's still ways for prospects to improve too. So
right. You know what I'm saying?
like
And-
they gotta come out and continue to develop like
Right.
we think they're gonna develop, right?
right.
How much do you do it off of what they could be versus what they are right now? How much do you do it like that?
I do it by year. So I mean, you look at
Like a transition sort of, or what?
wait.
Like I mean, like
Wait.
when you are ranking guys,
Mhm.
how much is it like? Okay, this guy could be this versus what this guy is right now.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. So it does depend on year.
So like say
So
right
2020
now, we're 2022.
Yeah,
So
all right,
let's
so
say
2022, I did 75 kids.
Okay.
But in truth, I had 100 kids.
Yeah.
But I sorted them based on who's already shown me a lot versus who I've seen. I've seen maybe a glimpse of a kid. Boom, I can, take that for what it is. And what's good about media now is you have a lot of resources that you can watch film and see kids
Right.
and see what they look like. So I mean, I watch a lot of film on either Max Preps Huddle, like that's why I like film, because I mean the value of it beyond making a highlight clip is very useful when it comes to seeing a kid develop.
Right.
If I can pull up your sophomore clip, see, okay, it's a little slow off the dribble, but if I can pull up 2020, if I can pull up that summer and I can see you play and then pull up film going into 2021 and that kid is a whole lot, okay, now we can go next level with their number because of what I've seen.
Right.
It's not about, boom, I went to the trainer, made this ball. It's not about that so much as knowing you got out there, gave your best effort, and you improved on what you've already been. And that's what I think is missing. Give your players a role versus everybody just wants to score.
How often do you have a kid that has to break their game down to you?
I say a lot more than usual. Because when I lived up in Maryland, in Virginia, some kids would hit me up. But I mean, since I moved down here, a lot more kids like hit me up. You know, what do I need to work on? And that's because they hear me yelling on the sideline.
Oh yeah,
Like,
this man,
you know?
at every big shots event I've been to,
You know,
Coach J.
and that's another thing. They let me be that. Like, coach, like I've been able to build a rapport with coaches that they understand I'm yelling at your kid, not to yell at them. I'm actually trying to help you be an extension. Because I listen to a lot of what coaches are saying.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and be an extension
Right.
versus.
I always say
Yeah,
I'm not
experience.
putting my name on no kid who I haven't talked to their coach.
Right,
and talking to them and seeing, okay, what is it that they are good on,
Right.
and what is it that they have a problem with.
Right.
Because that's sometimes where you get into a point where you see a kid once or twice, and you have these assumptions about a kid, and you talk to the coach, and it's something different. Like,
Right.
that's not what he's supposed to be doing.
Right.
And you're like, oh, well, I
Right.
don't put it on Twitter now.
Right.
I don't tell everybody, like, he's a pretty good prospect. Like,
Right.
I gotta walk this one back because of you. Like,
Right. And that's kind of why I like also being involved in
That's I gotta see
and
you at least 3 times. I gotta talk to your coach at least once before we can really like start putting like names out there.
Yeah.
Like you know, I gotta make sure that like I don't have to have those retractions because sometimes that's what you get into.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem. Sometimes people just put their name on guys too quickly, and then when everybody's like, "Oh, you said this," and it's like, well,
This is not good.
Gotta walk it back. Right.
Yeah.
Gotta walk it
Yeah.
back.
Back.
And it's like it doesn't go up.
Right.
You know, it starts going down, and it's like you're the one who takes a hit versus
Sink back.
Right. But I mean, it's like you said with scouting, it's a lot more. Like this to me is building relationships. Like
Right.
I'm not even looking at it from a basketball standpoint. I'm looking at it from a who wants to connect and help get their kid recruited. Because that's the ultimate goal. And I understand as the adults, they're kids.
Right.
Like they're still young.
Right.
They still have a lot more life to live. And
Right.
this is only the beginning. So it's about giving them a plan or some steps to go by that they can
Right.
see. Like you said with Dayron, where you saw him in the spring, the summer, during the summer, during the season, then the end of the season. Like you saw that progression, so you can put your check mark on that kid. Versus you see a lot of kids. Like one kid I've seen him, boom, he hit 6-7 threes one game. Next game, boom, go out to see him, he didn't score. So it's like with that, you say, all right, you understand going to that kid. Because I do have a relationship with that kid, I can go to him and say, yo, keep your head up, took good shots, but understand this is that point in the game where you realize you got to do more than shoot threes because when you don't make them,
Right.
then you see.
Yeah. See, I'd be cautious with that a little bit just because I'm like, I don't want your coach to be like, oh, you're trying to coach my kid.
Actually,
You know, because a lot of times I think that is always a problem too sometimes is when you run into those egos.
I was gonna say,
Bruised egos.
Yeah, but I mean, that's kind of what's funny about me. Like, when I've met coaches, it's always been in a weird way. It's never been, hey, I'm Jay Anderson. They see me and what I'm doing and then go, all right, this dude's all right. Like, they're not, I'm not really trying to, they understand I'm not threatening their position or anything like that. So that's kind of where I can be thankful, and that's just how I am.
Right. Because I don't want to be a coach.
Oh, yeah, I tried it. I did it for 1 year, and I was like, all right, I'm good. Because it was just too many, I wouldn't even say too many moving parts, but just where I was, just the way that area was, it was just a lot of entitlement.
Yeah.
So they just were expecting things because, well, I paid for the whatever. So you run into that. So.
Right, because, I've always had people like, cause I've been a big sports fan my entire life. Like, you'll act like, you can ask like, he'll ask for my breakdowns on guys just because, I kind of try to, I've always been a guy who's been a student of the games that I like. But I'll never publicize what my views completely are. Because
this is like in terms of pro sports, just in sports in general, or just
most of like high school sports.
Okay.
Like
we
stuff
were
like that.
Yeah.
Like, we were
I'll
talking
ask-
this morning,
Yeah.
but you get too many egos, too many people involved who are not in the process of helping their kid, or either they're not in the process of helping their kid in the right way. So it's like, for you to be a coach, Like you're putting yourself in a whole other place versus media. You can always step back.
Yeah, you can always pick a different thing to do.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I like that freedom. Yeah, I like being able to.
Versus as a coach, you're like, you have to be committed. Because, like, you can't, like, I've even done this before. Like, I was, like, helping train my brother. Man, he was trying to get into JUCO because he had, like, an injury his senior year or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't get mad at the process of when people don't trust it.
Right.
Or not as committed as you are, and then just walk away from the commitment.
Right.
Yeah,
You know, because you're the coach, right?
Yeah, because you're the coach. You're the person who's supposed to push the ship even when the ship is sinking.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think that's awesome that you're able to balance that in the right way.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's like you said, it's a lot to do, but I feel like people struggle in that creativity department. Like struggle in that. Well, how can I make this better, or how can I enhance it? And that's kind of where everybody just kind of, I guess, butts heads. But I mean, my thing is, if we're here to help the kids,
it's always got to be about the kids.
Just help the kids. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say, I kind of that moment, that the whole coach thing you're talking about, a coach that kind of been connected with more than I thought I would in a good way.
Yeah.
Like the last few weeks is former Green Central head coach Charles Harris. It's now at South Garner, and he, like at the Newbern Jamboree that we were at, which was a great jamboree, by the way. I talked to him about some players, and I told him what I thought about one, a certain player and what they should do, and he said, "Go tell them that."
Yeah.
So there are coaches that connected.
I guess it's like how when you're a kid and you don't want to listen to your parents, but then you'll listen to your older cousin, who's telling you the exact same thing that your parents are,
just in a different way.
Yeah, just in a different way. Yeah. So it's like,
that's how it's about to be at Thanksgiving.
You're the older cousin. That's the funny thing too, being an older cousin versus being a younger cousin.
Bro, ain't that the truth, man, dude?
You get to be the boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get to finally give advice to the younger ones. That's what's going to be like at Thanksgiving. But you're gonna see Wayne Country Day tonight. So is there anything particular you're looking for, in terms of players you'd like you were going to get a look at? And you can talk about Parrott too, because they got a very good freshman.
Parrott has a good freshman. Tamir Moore. Yeah, I wanted to see him play.
Of course, his brother Taj Moore is also a starting point guard at Kansas.
Is it
former? He's at
Pitt Community now.
Yeah.
Okay. And then on Wayne Country Day, they just got a lot. I just feel like they've got a lot of talent, and
they got a lot of college players. Maybe not necessarily high D1 type players.
Yeah, but I mean they've got players
that's something that I believe on.
I like their chemistry together.
I do too.
In terms of going to watch a basketball game and seeing a team, talking defense and all that. They're pretty.
They're progressing. Of course, they got Keith the Longhorn, who's known for turning around programs, but now for this one, he's able to just be able to build upon the program versus turn around. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here on the Just Like Bruddas podcast here with Jay Anderson. Tell us where to follow you and find you at.
Oh, I mean, you can follow me at Here Go Jay Again, or my
that's Twitter and IG, correct?
Yeah, Twitter and IG. Yep. And Facebook if you have Facebook.com.
Also,
at
Big Shots Nation.
And at Prep Hoops NC.
And of course, Versatility Pod.
At Versatility Pod
with a new co-host.
New podcast. Shout out to my boy Chris Myatt.
And I guess me. At Striking Nation 24 _ at LMA Preps. Don't follow. That's it. Okay, go ahead. You.
Okay, so
I'm
gonna give you all 5 of the accounts real quick.
All right, here we go.
You can follow on Twitter at MMJ Kai Jones. You can follow Twitter at WJG_sports.
Ding.
You can like us on Facebook at WJG_sports as well.
Ding.
You can follow us on IG at WJG Sports.
Ding.
And finally, subscribe to the YouTube WJG Sports.
500 followers. Ding.
We're getting very close.
500, close to 500 subs.
We got 470 right now.
We coming. We're trying. We are built.
Go subscribe.
Yes.
All right.
Hit the subscribe button, please.
Subscribe to get all the
Please,
latest
it's
and greatest.
Thanksgiving. I'll be thankful for you. I'll
Yeah.
put you on my prayer.
But yeah,
Please.
subscribe to make sure you get all the latest on Wayne Johnson, Greene County sports, and whatever we got going on in terms of big events and stuff.
Yeah.
We also got, before we go, the last time, because we kind of had technical difficulties with this, let's also thank We Up Athletic Group, Coach Nick Oates,
Yeah.
and Moe's Automotive from Kinston. Mention WJG Sports, you get $5 off your service at Moe's Automotive from Kinston off Highway 11.
Highway 11.
Yes, NC Highway 11.
All
And you, where can I follow you? At MMJ Kai Jones.
I already said that.
Oh, you said that? I didn't hear you say it.
You
Dang
weren't
it.
paying attention.
I was
All right.
not paying attention.
I'm
Anyway,
gone. Thank y'all for coming.
Happy
See
Thanksgiving.
y'all again.
Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.